It's time for the closing of EuroDIG to begin, and we'll be starting by welcoming Matjaz, GRUDEN, Director of Democracy at DG2 of the Council of Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Just a moment, I'm very technology conscious, so I'll be using a mobile telephone in a peripheral function. I'm sure you must be exhausted. It's been 3 days, but you're almost there, or not, we'll see. Obviously, I don't know how to do it. Forget it. My name is Matjaz, GRUDEN. I'm the Director for Democracy, one of the most pretentious titles in European international multilateral architecture, but it actually means that I'm responsible for the Council of Europe work in the area of education, youth, culture and heritage, civil society, and media freedom. And, you know, we're trying to approach the issues that you've been discussing over the last 3 days related to digital technology and artificial intelligence from all those different perspectives, but especially from the perspectives of what it means for democracy, for the functioning of our democratic systems. Let me just make a last try. Nope. Okay. A few years back, we organized a meeting or a lecture by US historian Professor Timothy Snyder, who came to Strasbourg. And there was one thing that he said on that occasion that really stayed with me. He said, because of the internet, the entire world population has become 20% more stupid than it was before. And the reason why nobody is noticing it is that we are all collectively 20% more stupid. Now I was hesitating to open with this quote from Professor Snyder because I felt perhaps it would come across as too cynical, exaggerated, and, you know, very anti-technology, negative about technology. But then just this morning, I came across an article in the Chronicle of Higher Education, a specialized publication in the United States, a testimony from a professor from New York University who said that he has given to his students an AI-proofed assignment. And the reaction was hilarious. First, they complained it was too hard. And then he explained that these were standard assignments, only prepared in a way that ChatGPT would not be able to read and answer them. Then they complained that he was interfering with their learning style. And one of them even demanded an extension because ChatGPT was down on that day. So when you look at that, I thought perhaps Professor Snyder wasn't exaggerating. Perhaps he was too conservative. Mind you, this was years ago. He was talking about internet. That was before ChatGPT and artificial intelligence made its entrance into our lives, before the artificial intelligence made at least some people in a very unartificial way clearly less bright, like these students, you know, at where we can observe a risk of atrophy of some cognitive functions due to excessive use of artificial intelligence. Degenerative AI, I claimed it first. Sorry, I couldn't resist, but this is not a rant against technology. I'd be stupid to do that with this audience. But I just wanted to start with that because I wanted to illustrate that we did travel a long way from those early days, that at least I remember because I'm old enough, with the early days of the internet, of unbridled enthusiasm and belief that technology, digital technology, is going to transform our societies for the better, on its own, by default. And I think that we have now realized that we were wrong. Not wrong because we believe that technology was inherently good, because it's neither good or bad. It's because we have been attributing ethical qualities and intentions to a machine. Because as I said, technology is neither good nor bad. It's ethically neutral. It is really what makes it good or bad is what humans do with it, and especially what humans do to other humans with it and through it. And I think one of the biggest mistakes that we can make is to frame and understand the digital society in terms of interaction between technology and humans alone, because it remains defined by interactions between humans, but with and through technology, of course. I think that's something that's quite self-evident, but still I feel it's something that's important to say it, and say it loud and say it often, because it reminds us that we, humans, retain agency to shape our interactions and shape our societies, even and especially in the conditions and circumstances of that increased and ever-present influence of technology. So I'm very pleased, and I welcome the fact that the sessions at this EuroDIG have underscored that digital governance is fundamentally about people, that it is about ensuring that innovation serves the public good, that ethical principles guide or must guide our decisions, and that the most vulnerable, especially children, are protected in the digital environment. This human-centered approach must remain at the heart of all governance efforts as we shape a future where rights, safety, and dignity are preserved online. The question is how? This is a very noble intention, but the question is how. I'd like to start is how not. I don't think we're going to be successful by repeating ritualized platitudes about minimizing the risks and maximizing the benefits, regardless of the resolve and passion and enthusiasm we invest in our claims. When you look at it on minimizing, I think we can say that we have improved in identifying the risks and threats that the use of technology is bringing, even though I think that there are large areas where we are still in the dark. But we're not very successful in identifying effective, or we're not sufficiently successful in identifying effective responses to these risks. When it comes to maximizing benefits, it's a little bit of a mixed picture, because I think it's absolutely clear that digital technology, artificial intelligence are built in, and it's driving a multitude of processes and systems that are making our lives better and safer, and I think that's important. But on the other hand, this is also things that are to a large extent invisible to general public, and that public perception of technology is being dominated by the negative. Especially when it comes to human relations, disinformation, manipulation of elections, frauds, and so on. And that is not good. That is actually dangerous, because mistrust, fear, or resentment of technology is not making our societies any safer. If anything, it is making manipulation easier, misuse easier. So I think it's important also to give technology a better reputation. I welcome also the fact that this EuroDIG went beyond the obvious and the platitudes and dug into the concrete and practical solutions on how to mitigate the risks of AI systems for human rights, on ways to resolve tensions and disagreements between tech giants and European regulators, on the scope of freedom of expression, on how to tackle the challenges to privacy created by neurotechnology development. To succeed, we need to work together, as you have over those 3 days and on many other occasions. We need to compare notes, we need to push each other, we need to drive innovation. And this is what EuroDIG does, and this is why it is so important for the Council of Europe to be involved and to contribute. I welcome very much the focus on human-centered approach. I remembered, which of course you have also heard many times, that statement by the young Polish artist, Joanna Maciejewska, I think she lives in Ireland, who said it about AI, that I want the technology to do my dishes and laundry so I can do my art and my writing, not the technology doing my art and and my writing so I can do the dishes and the laundry. And of course, the technology is replacing and will be replacing many of the tasks that we are doing, generally with positive effects. There may be some hiccups in that, but that's a good and positive development. But the fundamental message of this young artist stands: that technology should make our lives better. And similarly goes for innovation. While we all overwhelmingly support increased investment in innovation, we should also bear in mind that the ultimate goal of the innovation also is not just to make our technology better, it's to make our lives better. So we need to continue our conversations and cooperation to acquire, to get right, and constantly update the right mix of policies and interventions, regulations, where and when regulations are necessary and needed, improved governance, but also investments in people through education, especially, not exclusively, in digital skills and competencies, because it is essential that people understand technology, that they have the sufficient knowledge about the infrastructure of the digital ecosystem in order to be able to be empowered in that digital society. Not that everybody is going to become an AI specialist and programmer, but there has to be a higher level of digital knowledge in the society as a whole. But it's not only about digital skills and competencies, because we must not forget, again, that this is about human interactions. And not every threat can be attributed to technology, which is very often an amplifier of most of the threats that we are facing, but is not always the cause of every pathology we are confronted with in today's world. From polarization to disinformation, growing sense of social, economic, political, technological marginalization, and neglect. In all these, technology plays a role, but very often as an amplifier. But we also look at the causes and find answers to those causes. I mean, it wasn't the technology that made so many people around the world claim and believe that a used handkerchief was a bag of cocaine. The technology just disseminated it to many more people in a shorter period of time. But it's something in people that made them make that claim and share that claim, share that nonsense. So we need to look at what is pushing people towards that, what is making them vulnerable to misuse of the technology and sometimes actively embracing some of those nefarious side effects of technology. So I think we need to find effective responses to all these developments, to all this sense of alienation, loss of confidence, loss of trust, fear of the future, sense of social, economical, political marginalization and neglect that I mentioned, if we want also to get the digital AI transition right. One requires the other. I think we can be really satisfied. I'd like to congratulate you all for 2.5 days of hard work. And I think we can all be satisfied with the result. Clearly was a good and productive session. But I also think that, and I know that you will all agree, it's not enough. We cannot just now go and clap each other on the shoulder and become complacent, because this was an important step, but only a step in something that, you know, it's a marathon. It's a marathon with an ever quickening pace and no set distance. So we'll just have to keep on running and running ever faster, because future will not adjust to our learning styles. We need to adjust our learning styles to the future, or the future will interfere with our living styles in ways we surely wish to avoid. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Matjaz. We'll move on swiftly to the next speaker, which is online actually. It's Marianne Wilhelmsen, the State Secretary at the Ministry of Digitalisation and Public Governance in Norway. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Esteemed colleagues, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to the close of EuroDIG 2025, I'm filled with a sense of optimism and determination. Over the past few days, we have engaged in rich discussions, shared diverse perspectives, and explored new possibilities. This forum has once again demonstrated the power of multi-stakeholder dialogue in shaping our digital future. We stand at a pivotal moment for global digital cooperation. As we mark the 20th anniversaries of both WSIS and IGF, we recognize that these milestones are closely linked. Norway believes that a strengthened and updated WSIS framework is fundamental to achieving continued global digital cooperation. The digital landscape has changed dramatically since WSIS first was established, and so the framework must adapt to reflect today's realities and challenges. Our approach must be clearly human-centric. Technology must serve humanity, not the other way around. Human rights, including freedom of expression and privacy, must underpin all our efforts. We must strengthen the multi-stakeholder model, ensuring meaningful participation from governments, the private sector, civil society, academia, international organizations, and the technical community. This means lowering barriers to participation, supporting underrepresented groups, and ensuring the voices of the Global South are heard. In this context, it is crucial to better connect WSIS, the Global Digital Compact, and Sustainable Development Goals. Without coordination, we risk duplication and fragmented global efforts. From the outside, the ecosystem can seem complex and hard to navigate. It must become easier to understand how these processes relate to each other, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how digitalization can become a tool for sustainable and just progress. The IGF 2025 theme, building digital governance together, reflects Norway's strong belief in international collaboration. We want the forum in Norway to serve as a true meeting point and platform for addressing key digital challenges we face today. We aim to build momentum ahead of the WSIS Plus 20 negotiations, demonstrating what a modern, relevant IGF can deliver. As a host, Norway is committing to creating an inclusive, engaging, and forward-thinking IGF. Our goal is that this year's event leaves a lasting impact, strengthening the IGF itself and contributing to more effective global digital governance. We envision IGF 25 to be a space where diverse stakeholders can come together to discuss and address the pressing issues of our time. This includes the ethical implications of artificial intelligence, the challenging of ensuring cybersecurity, and the protection of kids and youth online. By fostering an environment of open dialogue and collaboration, we hope to inspire innovative solutions and build a more inclusive digital future. As you know, the IGF is the world's biggest platform for multi-stakeholder dialogue on internet governance and digital policy. Multi-stakeholder dialogue is not always the most efficient path, but it is the only approach that ensures that all relevant perspectives are heard. It helps to build trust between actors who would otherwise have no common space for discussion. It strengthens the legitimacy and relevance of digital governance outcomes by allowing those affected by decision to help share them. Some have criticized the IGF for not having a decision-making power, but it is also part of its strength. It provides continuous involvement, open dialogue, and capacity building across stakeholder groups. By working together, we can create a digital future that's equitable, just, and sustainable. Norway strongly supports renewing the IGF's mandate beyond 2025, and the renewal must come with a strengthening of the forum. We must enhance inclusivity, especially from the Global South and underrepresented groups. We should make IGF outcomes more accessible and useful for policymaking. Finally, we need to leverage the IGF community more effectively, including national and regional initiatives, to channel expertise and lessons learned into the broader UN digital agenda. The current global security situation, particularly the ongoing war in Ukraine, underscores the importance of robust international cooperation and governance. The conflict has had profound implications for European security and highlighted the need for collective action. In this context, the role of the multi-stakeholder community and effective internet governance become even more crucial. Smaller stakeholders, often with limited resources, rely on these frameworks to ensure their voices are heard and their needs are addressed. Good governance practices help level the playing field, providing these stakeholders with the support and platforms necessary to participate meaningfully in global discussions. As we look to the future, it's clear that internet governance would play an increasingly important role in shaping our societies and economies. The rapid pace of technological change presents both opportunities and challenges, and it's essential that we navigate this landscape with care and foresight. We are now just 40 days away from the IGF 2025, and preparations are well underway. This will be the largest UN meeting Norway has ever hosted, and we're proud to contribute meaningfully to the global dialogue on digital governance. A key part of our contribution is sessions which Norway are responsible for organizing. We have put significant thought into curating sessions that are timely, relevant, and aligned with the overarching theme, building digital governance together. There will be parallel sessions covering a wide range of themes throughout the week, and we of course hope people will make use of the breaks to continue discussions over coffee or some chocolate. Now, I know that Norway might be a small country, famous for fjords, fish, and freezing temperatures. But when it comes to digitalization, we like to think big, really big. In fact, did you know that Norway was the second country in the world to connect to the internet? That's right. Back in the 1970s, while most people were still figuring out how to program their VCRs, we were already online. Fast forward to the 1994 Winter Olympics in Lillehammer. While the world was watching figure skating and ski jumping, a little company called OsloNet teamed up with the Norwegian news agency NTV to automatically publish Olympic news online. That might not sound revolutionary today, but in 1994, it was like inventing fire on the internet. And in 1995, we had a truly historic moment in national television where they filmed Torbjørn Jagland, the former Norwegian Prime Minister and now Secretary General of the Council of Europe, sending a digital greeting digital greeting to none other than President Bill Clinton. It was peak 90s diplomacy. No emojis, just pure modem-powered statesmanship. Since then, Norway has engaged with enthusiasm and commitment in internet governance. So yes, we might be small, but when it comes to digital innovation, we've always punched above our weight, and we're not done yet. We look forward to welcoming many ministers and possibly prime ministers, along with leaders from across stakeholder groups, to Norway in June. A strengthened IGF is key to the success of the WISES process, and Norway is committed to working constructively with all partners. We hope IGF 2025 in Norway will be a space for open dialogue, fresh ideas, and stronger connections across regions and sectors. Delegates, IGF is what we collectively create and shape it to be. I urge you to return to your communities and encourage everyone to use their voice and actively participate in this process of shaping our digital future. Be proactive in inviting marginalized groups and stakeholders to the conversation. Although it might be challenging, I also encourage you to engage with those who hold different opinions. Diverse perspectives foster innovation and create solutions that benefit many. Now, as we conclude EuroDIG 2025, let's carry forward the insights and commitments we have made here. I'd like to extend my gratitude to the organizers of EuroDIG. Your dedication and hard work have made this forum a resounding success. I look forward to continuing these important discussions and building on the momentum we've gained here. Let's build a digital future that's inclusive, human-centric, and resilient. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to welcoming you to Norway in June.
Thank you very much. I'm not going to, because we're a bit late on time, I'm just going to say, Mr. Chengetai Masango, please come. Head of the Office of the Secretariat of IGF.
Thank you very much, and I also like to thank the State Minister for her speech. I totally agree with everything she said. And this year, as you know, we had 6 months instead of the full year to organize the meeting, and the Norwegian team has been very efficient, very coordinated, and I think the best type of synergy that we've had for a very long time with a host country organizing team. So we really appreciate them. And yes, you really must come, and I'll say it again. My speech is going to be short because I know I'm the one who's standing between you and the outside. And it's also very good to see that a lot of you are still here. There's a lot of retention. In some meetings, the first day there's a lot of people, and then the last day there's always very few people. But here I can see there's quite a lot of people. So that is also a testament to how this meeting has been organized and the interest that you show. So, and I would also like to extend my congratulations to Sandra, Thomas, and the organizing committee, and of course the generous hosts of the Council of Europe for organizing such an exceptional EuroDIG meeting. And EuroDIG continues to set such a high standard. I've said it before, that when I come to EuroDIG meetings, there are things that I see here that I take back with me and implement and try and introduce them into the global IGF. The quality of discussion, of course, here is top-notch. The topics, of course, as well. I was hearing the previous meeting, previous session with the reflection, the Anna, etc. And of course, everything can be improved, but it's really up there. And I particularly like in this meeting as well, at the end of each session, you had the review of the messages in the meeting itself, which is also very good, which is another thing that I'll take back with me. And as has been emphasized this year, it is a particularly significant year for digital governance due to the ongoing WSIS Plus 20 review. We have the various reform processes, and of course we have the rapid advancements in generative, or should I say degenerative sometime, technologies. And the IGF meeting in Lillestrøm will be a crucial opportunity for your voice to be heard in these crucial discussions. I'd just like to highlight that both of the co-facilitators of the WSIS Plus 20 process will be there. That is Kenya and Albania, and they'll be hosting a town hall meeting and also hosting bilateral meetings. We'll have a sign-up sheet at the IGF website, so delegations and groups can also sign up to meet with the co-facilitators one-on-one, but also there's going to be a general town hall meeting where people can have their views as well. And so additionally, the IGF 2025 meeting is also a very special event. As all of you know, it is the 20th anniversary meeting, and it was coordinated by a specially formed MAG. And we have, and I think Adam is the one who coined the phrase, the go-to-MAG, which it is. And please do come and see the results of that. And we also anticipate participation for a number of heads of government, many ministers, of course, organizational leaders of agencies, but also of NGOs, etc. And more, and importantly, a vibrant youth contingent. And I'm also pleased to announce that the music night will be back on this year. And Oslo and Lillestrøm also offer wonderful experiences to visitors. I've been there twice now, and it is a truly beautiful city. And come for the meeting and stay for a weekend as well, and just see the sights and the fjords, etc. It is really an amazing place, and the Norwegian hospitality is second to none. And then finally, currently we have approximately 4,000 registrations. So if you have not registered, please do register, because we do want to get the logistics just right. We don't want to waste stuff, and we also don't want to have too little of stuff. So the earlier you register, the more that we can get the numbers in and know what to order and know what we need to do and in what quantities. So with that, I would like to conclude, and I'm pleased to present the IGF Norway video, if we can play that.
The internet is a story about community and connection. A global space where we share our knowledge, our joys, and our lives. A space to receive news, services, and perspectives. The internet is where we connect. This is where ideas are shared, business is conducted, memories are preserved, and identities are shaped. A community open to all of us, to build, to form, and to protect. We are all connected. We are the internet. Let's shape our future together. We welcome you to the Internet Governance Forum 2025 in Norway.
Thank you for that. I think we all got a slight shiver. Brilliant. I'd like to introduce now, or bring to the floor rather, Thomas Schneider, President of the European Support Association, and Sandra's running away. But at least Thomas, please come down. So Sandra Hofricht, of course, Secretary General of EuroDIG.
So we have 2 mics, that's perfect. We will be very short. It's basically just to say thanks to everyone that was part of this great event that helped behind the scenes, in front of the scenes before, and will also support us after. It was very good to be back in Strasbourg. Everyone has developed in a number of ways, so it was very professional, very efficient, which is not always the case in an international organization, but this was really a very good experience, and we're looking forward also to a continued strengthened relationship with the Council of Europe as one of the key partners. Oda?
Yeah, I also want to thank everyone who stayed in the room. We know some of you will be leaving the city tonight. If you have the chance to stay in the city, you will explore how beautiful it is. I really wish you a nice time here. I would also like to thank Chengetai for the warm words, for recognizing what we are actually doing, that we always try to do something new, something which is then of benefit for the multi-stakeholder model, of course, but which can also be adapted by others. I think for regional IGF, it is a little bit more easier to try out things than for the global IGF, which has to follow much more protocol procedures. So I really appreciate that you take note of this, and that this is taken into account on the global level, but also in the nationals. I would really like to continue connecting with the national IGFs in Europe, and I hope we have the opportunity to do so at the global IGF. We will have a lightning talk where we would all like to welcome you. We will present the messages. The messages will be ready by the 25th of May, if every message drafter keeps the deadline, and then they will be first published on the website, and in Norway we will again hand out those brochures which you might have seen from the messages of last year. So if you want to have a hard copy, get one there. We will be at a booth where all or many NRIs are assembled this year, so we will share a booth. We won't have a separate booth, we will share a booth with other IGFs, and you will be able to meet us there, and we can continue the discussion. For next year, we have some good ideas. We cannot yet announce something publicly, but I think we will be able to do so soon, and we hope to see you at EuroDIG around this time of the year, May, June, wherever that will be, somewhere in Europe, but we will announce it possibly by the end of August, beginning of September. And then, of course, start the community participation process with the call for issues as usual. And we really hope for your input. It's your input that makes the program rich. It's not us. And this is the beauty of the multi-stakeholder model. We are not a conference where a small organizing committee decides on the agenda. It's the community that builds the agenda, and it's the community that shapes the agenda. And whatever is fantastic and whatever might not be as fantastic, it's about the community. It's all about us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you in Norway, hopefully.
But now, one last word. We would really like to thank everyone who was involved from the host team. Only Moritz, unfortunately, is here, apart from the technical team, but they are still busy helping us. So, Moritz, for the office, some flowers, and please convey that to your colleagues.
Thank you very much.
And if you wonder what's in here, sweeties, massive of sweeties. And please share that with everyone who was contributing. There are also interpreters, which we don't see, but which really had a hard time for following the speeches where they did not get the transcript or the script in advance. So this is really a massive job they've done. Of course, the technical team, we were doing a rehearsal almost all Friday, that when going through the program, through the slides, when is the microphone open, that is really something very difficult. And by the end of these 3 days, the technical team, together with the EuroDIG Secretariat, I think they could continue as professionals, I would say. Then let me also thank the people that are working very closely with me, which is my left and my right hand, Rainer. Rainer, maybe at least stand up. I guess everyone who was involved in building that program communicated with Rainer. Nadja fantastically organizes youth participation since quite a while, but not only this, she is basically also managing Hemicycle here on her phone and giving stage directory orders to everyone who is involved. Thank you very much, Nadja, you did a fantastic job. And Elisabeth is also with us for quite a while, started as Nadja, as EuroDIGger, is now involved, and Elisabeth is the one who is informing you on social media channels, newsletter. And I would really like to encourage you to subscribe to our newsletter. We send it out once a week, very regularly, but always very short. We actually only inform about the next step that are important for community participation. So we are not sending out huge text and whatsoever, but if you would like to stay informed, please subscribe to the newsletter or follow us on LinkedIn is at the moment the best option to follow us. And then also we had helping hands with Zhao. I think Zhao is a fantastic remote moderator. He insists that all those who are online get as equal the opportunity to speak up as everyone who is in the room. Thank you very much, Zhao. And Francesco was responsible of supervising the EuroDIGgers that not only participated in EuroDIG, but also helped us with the remote moderation. So they basically learned it the 3 days before, how to do it properly. I believe they did it properly, and Zhao was basically organizing, not Zhao, sorry, Francesco was coordinating all this. Thank you very much, Francesco. And then we have Miriam and Daniel. I don't see Daniel. Ah, there he is. Also helping to organize the EuroDIG team. The concept at EuroDIG is that EuroDIGgers, EuroDIGgers from previous years are actually organizing the EuroDIG for the current cohort, so that we really have a kind of a knowledge transfer and get them involved. So if you have grandchildren, children at home which are at the age below 30 and are interested in digital and really want to find out about this community, encourage them to apply for EuroDIG. We had a record number of 427 applications this year. This was a record number, and we would be happy to invite even more if the funds to invite so are available. And then my last thanks goes to everyone who was involved in the session planning, the program committee, the focal points, the moderators. It was also for us with 1 month less, not as much as a stretch it is for you, but it was also quite challenging, and we reviewed our processes, how to be more effective. We will learn from this year, we will implement something for the next year, and we will do something new next year again. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest in Strasbourg, and have a good travel home.